Good morning. Today's video is different than the one that I was hoping to do, but let me tell you what the subject is. ZIIP Special. This is something they do once a year. You can get 20% off your ZIIP Halo and 25% off your ZIIP gels. So that's what we're doing. What we were going to be doing was an interview with Melanie Simon. I spoke to her for about an hour and 15 minutes. And something went wrong with the footage, and it was close-ups of our chins. So hopefully we're going to do that again. And it was a wonderful interview. She's a wonderful woman, and I managed to get some information out of her that I hadn't heard her say in other interviews. So we're looking forward to that. I am going to tell you a little bit about what I learned and talk a little bit about the ZIIP. The idea is, the gel is, I put on a little too much gel and it's getting into my mouth, which is not a bad thing because they taste good. Let's talk about the gels. 25% off. I've tried a lot of gels. I'm sure you have too, if you have any kind of device. Most of them are pretty horrible. They're horrible because, well, one I can think of, you couldn't just put soap in your hands, wash your face, and it would all come off. If you put soap on your hands and put it on your face when the gel's on, they would combine and you'd have soapy gel. You had to wipe it off, which I don't like to wipe my face. I think it's just really hard on the skin. It was really hard to take it off, and then I'd have to wash a couple of times to get off the gels. On top of it, they would dry. So you put the gel on your entire face, do this side. By the time you get to this side, you know what? While I'm talking, I haven't done this yet. I'm going to start here and go to my neck. So my gel's all over here. And our nodes are here. Our major nodes are here when you want to do something lymphatic. This is where the thyroid is, so you don't want to do that. So I'm just careful not to hit that thyroid. Now, I forgot what I was saying. These gels rinse off. Now, I have many times done my ZIIP and rinsed my face and went on with my skincare. You certainly should wash your face instead of just rinsing it, but they come off easily and they stay wet, for lack of a better word. I do the program that is the program that comes on every time you turn it on. So it is preloaded with that. And I will do it 3 times a week. And I'm doing it right now. I just turned it on, I didn't program it, and I just really want to do some lymphatic drainage and do a little lifting. So first I'm going in to out over to the nodes. There's a big node here, there's nodes around the ear, and this will help flush the skin so I'm not so puffy. I had popcorn last night, but who am I kidding? I'm puffy every morning when I wake up. I'm afraid. I try not to look in the mirror when I wake up. And lifting. I usually do this program in its entirety through 3. So it goes on, it beeps, I stay on this side, and then the whole machine shuts down. I put it on again, and I do the whole thing. And I generally do it 3 times, but for the purpose of this video, for me talking, I'm just going to do it once, because during our interview, Melanie turned me on to some other programs. There's the beep. Normally you would go here, but I need a lot more help than that. So now I'm just going to do more lifting. Start at the neck, up, turn, get that brow, because this brow is lower, and I'm not paying attention to the beeps. But the whole idea behind this video was I wanted to help people who already have one, ZIIP, to get the best out of it. And as I said, she told me about a couple of programs very specific to me, but she also told me a couple of programs very specific to people like me who are saggers, and people who are hollowers, and people who are both hollowers and saggers. Something for everybody. And as we mature, our sun damage shows up on our face, how to work on those sunspots, age spots. And I got information on that too. So like I said, we are going to try to do this interview again. It was so full of information. And that is all about how to help you, if you already own a ZIIP, to get the best out of it. But doing just this and only this, that'll be very helpful. This device is unlike any other device that I know of, and I'm pretty sure there's no other device that has both nano and microcurrent. So microcurrent comes in a whole bunch of different forms. I didn't know this. This is something I learned from our interview. There's square, there's serpentine, although she didn't call it that. There's spiky, and she noticed through using it over decades, thousands upon thousands of clients, and she uses it on herself. And she notices, with this particular wave and this wave together, is really effective at doing blank. And with this information, it's turned off, I'm going to go to the other side, but normally I would do this again. And with this information, she was able to design programs that had very specific results for very specific problems. I hate to say the word problems, situations, circumstances, and that is fantastic. And that's why it's important to know, how can this help me best? Now, in this little machine is everything that it needs. It has the ability to do the different waveforms and the different amps, the power. All it needs to do is get that program. Since the programs can't live in here in a device this small, it's all online. It's all in a cloud. And you get to the cloud with your phone. And we'll open that app in a minute, and I'll show you a little bit about it, or I'll put it in the screen here. And you just go to the program that you want. It sends that program to the device, and it knows what waveforms, what power. Is it nano? Is it microcurrent? This particular program, when you first turn this on, is both nano and microcurrent. I also wanted to talk to her a bit about nano because I don't think too many people have a good understanding of it. Nano, as you know, or I've mentioned this before, is very similar to the current that is always in your body. So electrical currents are throughout our body. I don't think we can live without them, actually. I remember that from a movie of the week when I was a child. Something about a big bomb going off, and the bomb, I don't remember because I was a kid, but that was the first time I knew that there were electrical currents in our body. And so the nanocurrent has the ability to help healing, to help rebuilding, to help renew your skin. And this is on a deeper level, not the outer layers of your skin, but it shows on the outer layers of your skin. And I know that I have seen it. As you know, if you are not new, I've been going through a lot lately. I haven't gone into details on what that is, but there have been days when I'll wake up and I'll just put on my sunscreen. There were nights when I went to bed without washing it off or doing my evening program, and after a little while my skin was looking not so hot, and I just did my nano, and a day later my skin was looking lovely. I'm not saying that you should avoid your skincare, but if you have a situation where things aren't amenable for you to do that, this can help. But when you're doing your skincare and your nano, you're really going to see your skin look beautiful. It's not forever, you have to keep up with it, but nano is something you could do twice a week, and that's going to cover you. This kind of program, you shouldn't do more than 5 times a week. And they tell you that when you buy it. It's in the directions. You need to give your skin time to absorb everything, and you need to give your skin a break. And I really can feel the lymph receiving all of this. I'm getting that postnasal drip in the back of my throat, which means this is effectively helping me with the popcorn situation last night. Now, I didn't pose for the before picture, so it's going to be up to your imagination to see the difference and imagine if I had done this the way I usually do it, a couple of passes, 3 passes usually on each side, it makes a huge difference. Okay, so there's my after. That's all I'm going to do with these because I want to talk about a couple of things. If you have issues with your eyes, like me, she told me her favorite eye program, and that's what we're going to do. Hitting my ZIIP, boom, 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 boom. Everything comes up, and you can see there's full facials, full face facials, which is what I just did, and then treatment facials. I'm going to hit targeted, actually targeted treatments. Lips, I showed you this in a video before. The lip program's amazing. I'm not going to do it today. Jowls, which is something I never did before, even though I'm jolly. But I'm going to show you the eye program. There's depuff, boop. First you want to clear your lymph and get everything kind of going down before you do this. If you just do this without opening up these lymph nodes and kind of clearing them up from their congestion, it's not going to be very helpful. And I'm going to turn down the sound, but usually when you do this, start treatment, I'm hitting the button. 3 says it's working. And there's Mel, but I've turned off the sound, and I'm going to wait for her to finish so we can be synced up entirely before I put it on. This is how you plug in. You want this to be here. This, there's no hole, there's no port. This is the area you want under the eyes. And bring it up. There's a lot of beeping on this because you do not want to stay in one position. This is always moving. Lift up to go back. If you don't want to get your hair jelly, go up like I'm doing right here, so you can avoid that hairline. You can go out this way if you want, but just keep on moving. Get as close to your tear duct as possible because that is where something's going on. And both of these globes always have to be touching your face, no matter what program you're doing. And you can also do your hood. Now this eye is always puffier than the other eyes, so I'm going to do the entire program under the eye. Now, next, you should never do 2 programs with this. This is 1 program only, but I feel like I can do it again if I'm just doing the hood, and definitely get into that tear duct area. And you can tell it's working. You can feel the drip. You know, your nose starts to run, you start to do this. That's because things are clearing out. And as you can see, it's a short program. And make sure that globe is hitting all the different tissue. So for me, I'm going to have it down here for a few passes, and then I'm going to have it a little higher for a few passes, because for me the entire area is puffy. Okay, now I want to do it again. This time I'm going to do the hood. Let me come in, even though I didn't do a before, and you can see there's a little bit less puffiness going on here, but this eye, it is problematic for sure. She's still doing hers, so I have to wait for her. Let's see, is there a way for me to stop this program? Yes, okay, now I'm going to do it again. 3 beeps, it is ready. Watch where my port is, and same thing. And again, I gotta get right by this area. I'm trying to figure out what's best for you to see, because that's where the stuff is. Now this time, I'm not going to put all of the program. I'm going to change eyes. Actually, that's what I did last time. I can't edit out my mistakes because you need to see this in real time. Now, puffiness in the hood area isn't necessarily about lymph. Some of us are just born with hooded lids, and as we get older, they become more hooded. And hooded lids, honestly, can be very sexy. I mean, remember Charlotte Rampling? I thought she was quite elegant, and she was very, very hooded. Jennifer Lawrence, very hooded. Jennifer Aniston, very hooded. On and on and on. Ava Gabor, very hooded. I'm just thinking of beautiful women who are very, very hooded. Nonetheless, especially after you've had a salty treat, you need to help yourself out a little bit, and that's what we're doing. Don't press too hard, and you are going to be on the bone. You are not going to get on top of the eyeball. Ever. Can you believe it? Okay. So, wow, I really see a difference looking in the mirror. I do have a little bit of mascara under the eyes. Let's get rid of that. I absolutely see a difference. It takes a little bit of time for the puffiness to go down. It is not immediate. So she'll say this on the app, wait for it to happen, don't do it twice. Now, another program that I want to try is the gels, but we're not done with the eye program. So we just did Deep Puff, and now we're going to do this one. Different wavelengths. And I'm just going to wait for her to talk for a minute and start the same time that she does. And I'm going to follow her because I've only been doing these programs a couple of times, and we're just pulling up. And you can, when you start using these programs, instead of just out of the box what is programmed in this when you turn it on, you definitely want to listen to what she has to say 2, 3, 4 times, but you can get to the point where you don't need to. So you can pull up, and this will bring up your brow. And as I mentioned, this brow on me is lower than this brow because this side of my face is falling. I've fallen and I can't get up, says my face. But you can also pull out if you want to get a cat eye look, which is what I'll do here. It's not going to change the shape of my eyeballs, but I don't need to pull up my brow on this side. And I am going to go back to watching her. Okay, we got the beep. The other side. The port again is down here, not up here. And the beep is not all the time, so I'm waiting for the beep. Where when I was talking, I wasn't as much synced up with the beep. Pulling up this brow, the end of the brow, which really opens your face. There is a place to do Botox where they'll do it right here. And the reason they do it right here is so the end of your brow can lift up. When the brow is lower, when you're younger, actually is great for framing out your face depending on the shape of your face. But when you get older, it makes you look tired. But I don't want to raise this area, just the tail. So now I'm just going to continue, but I'm pulling out instead of pulling up. Boom. And this is what she recommended to me. Someone hooded, someone puffy, someone 62. And she said this is her favorite eye combination. And don't I look like I've been awake for hours? Suddenly, the difference between me now than 15 or 20 minutes ago when I started this video is pretty phenomenal. Now there's 2 other programs I want to show you. One is gels, but as you saw when I was doing this at first, the first thing I did, I'm kind of doing gels. It's just the wavelength isn't necessarily the same wavelength in the gel program. But I don't want this to be a 45-minute long video. And yes, I will tell you, maybe once a week, I will do all of these. I will do this 3 times. I will do the nano program all by itself, which is another 10 minutes, but sometimes I'll do it twice, so there's 20 minutes. And then I'll do the eyes and the jowls and this one, electric tone. All nano is Founder's favorite. There's problem solver, and electric tone work in very similar ways. I don't have acne, but this is for people who have post-inflammatory, it's PI, post-inflammatory something, the redness that is left after a blemish. And this one, electric tone, is the one that is great for sunspots. What I want to start doing is I want to try it on the sunspots on my hands that are getting darker and darker, and I don't like them. But for now, we're going to do it on the face. So I hit it, and my gel's still going, you guys. I don't need to reapply my gel. 3 beeps, and you're going to do quadrants with this. So I'm just working in a circular motion, and you can work not too fast, not too slow. The area where there is pigmentation is the area that this will hit. Where there isn't pigmentation, it's not going to. If you put hydroquinone in a certain area and it goes beyond the darkness you're trying to hit, that area beyond the darkness is also going to get lightened. This is targeted. Now, I don't have a lot of weirdness going on here, but I do have something weird right above my Cupid's bow. So I just want to stay on this. You may feel more tingling when you're over a pigmented area. That's fine. It's shooting off. It recognizes there's something here that is not your normal skin tone, not your normal skin color. Now I'm moving to this quadrant. For a lot of people, it's the top of the cheekbones. For me, weirdly enough, my darkness and weirdness is right under the cheekbone at the apex of the cheekbone as opposed to the top. So I have dark spots here that I definitely want. Don't forget your nose, the side of your nose. You won't be able to get the top of your nose with this or any device. And I have these little brown spots here, which is really strange, on both sides of my face. And again, you want to make sure that these are connected to your face, both of them, but it's the side that doesn't have the port that is sending out the right structure, the right power, and the right wavelength to be effective for discoloration. The other side of the face. Now this program I've done 3 or 4 times. I'm not sure how often I could or should do it. I'm thinking every other day, but I just haven't had the opportunity lately. As you can see, it's not a long program. I could sit here and tell you that I finished off camera, but it's not a long program, as you heard me just say. My cart filled and I didn't notice that the red light wasn't on anymore, but you saw how long that program was. It's not very long. I definitely want to start doing this spot. I have one right here and I have one right here, and they are getting really, really dark. And I might even do it before and after. Like maybe I'll do it for 6 weeks and come back and show you what kind of progress that I've had. I like the idea of this program because hydroquinone is very, very drying. It's very, very precise. When you go over your entire face with this, these little sunspots that you will see in certain lights. For instance, the other day I was shaving my mustache. I was in the living room, it was night. There was a lamp, there was a magnifying mirror, and I saw something I'd never seen on my face before right here. And you really can't see it here, but in certain light I saw it. So you check around, you start seeing things. This will hit the areas that needs to be hit where hydroquinone, if you don't get it specifically, and some of my little brown spots are very, very small. You're getting the skin outside of that area as well, and you get a lot of dryness. And I have tried the hydroquinone. I have found that it is not effective. Now, you get it from a doctor, which makes you think it is effective, and maybe it is if you use it for months and months and months. I'm talking 3 months on, give yourself a month break. 3 months on, maybe after a year you'll see some fading. It'll come right back. I think the best way to do this is actually to do it with laser. But laser can be very expensive, and you do have to repeat laser as well. So I'm going to give this particular program a try and let you know how it goes. So I hope in today's video I was able to help explain to you, if you already have this, how to get the best out of it. And if you don't have it, why it's better than other devices. This one has different waveforms. It is programmed to bring in the waveforms that have been proven to work well together. Here comes Grace. To achieve a certain effect. And it's proven because Melanie has worked tens of thousands of hours with these waveforms and saw a difference and then wrote the program. Everything is in here. You just have to go to the cloud and tell it, I'm looking for this program, and it will turn on the right amp, it will turn on the right waveform, and it will give you her experience without trying to track her down. I think it's the smart device. You know what I mean? I mean, we use that for everything, but I think it's really a superior, very, very clever device, and she's always writing new programs. And she improves programs without even telling you. So let's say she's rewritten something, it's shorter, it's longer, whatever the case may be, maybe it's something you don't even notice when you're watching the video on your phone, but she's changed a waveform or an ample. And every time you go up there, the rewritten story, the rewritten program is what comes through to your phone. So you always have the most current and the best based on her experience. So that's why it's so great. The gels, there's still slip with this gel. I don't even know what time I sat down here. I think it was an hour ago, because I had to go empty my card and I took a little break. It's still slippy. And yet it comes off so easily. There are 4 gels. So there is the electric complex gel, and that is a very simple gel, and it's the base for the other gels. That one is also the least expensive. It's quite approachable. Then there's the golden, which is the most important, and it has skincare ingredients that help for collagen. Then there's the crystal. The crystal is glow, and the silver, which is my favorite, is hydration. And you can get those for 25% off. So if you already have this, stock up. Because when I run out, I'm really unhappy. I gotta find something else that I might have, like an aloe or something, while I'm waiting for it to ship to me. You don't want to be without it. If you already have this device, stock up on your gels. If you don't have this device, I hope I've helped illuminate why I think it's so great and the kinds of programs that you will find here. And hopefully I'll have this interview, redo the interview with Melanie and have it up in a couple of weeks. But the event is right now. Dates will be down below, codes will be down below, and that's going to wrap up today's video, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving, and I'm here talking to you because that's what I want to do with my time off. Until we meet again, be smart, be safe, and I'm wishing you good health.